to Business Spotlight, sponsored by Vantage West, where I chat with small business owners to see what makes their company thrive. I'm your host, Carla Escamilla, and today I'm joined with Roger Cloud from Cloud Microphones. Cloud makes custom-built vintage-style ribbon microphones, which have been used by musical legends like Elvis Costello and Leon Russell. Welcome to the show, Roger. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for asking us.
Let's start a little bit about why did you get involved with microphones? Why is your interest in microphones?
Well, it began actually from experience. About 10 years ago, I had a small project studio in Tucson and started working with a ribbon microphone repair specialist, Stephen Sank. And I fell in love with the vintage ribbon microphones, the sound, the beauty, the depth, the warmth. It's sort of a tone and a feeling that modern microphones don't seem to have in the same way. And it was so inspiring that eventually it inspired us to manufacture our own.
Tell me how you discovered that. You said, you know what, I want to have a business and I want to build microphones.
Well, I think the microphones chose me in a way because, you know, when we started, my interest was in recording and getting a good sound. I never felt quite satisfied with the gear and the equipment that I had access to. And once I started to hear the depth and the beauty of these microphones, I really just fell in love and became passionate about the microphones and wanted to learn everything about them and started to incorporate them and see what sounded, you know, what would shine with that technology, acoustic guitar, drum overheads, vocals, and eventually we did a lot of repair of vintage ribbon microphones, and I worked with Mr. Sank to do that over a few years, and eventually it became clear that we should make our own, and it would be cleaner and more modernized and more appropriate to plug in with modern equipment. And so really it sort of took over my life in a way, and we started to manufacture these microphones, and we launched our company in 2009 at the Audio Engineering Society show in New York City.
That sounds great. And how did you fund your company to be able to begin and start off?
Quite honestly, mostly MasterCard and Visa. And we took a lot of risks. Eventually got a small loan for our first production run at a very reasonable interest rate. And that was really how it started. I think it was mostly the enthusiasm of wanting to do it and being determined and being willing to do whatever it takes to just go for it.
And like you mentioned, you had the love and the passion for it, so it all built up from there, correct?
For sure.
Tell me about the challenges that you faced in the beginnings.
Well, in the beginning, obviously the challenge was to line up manufacturing supply chain, learn how to, with no manufacturing experience and little business experience, it was quite challenging. But we did get quite a bit of help from the Small Business Development Center here in Tucson. It's located in the Pima Community Campus building over on Bonita here in town. And so we worked quite closely with them, and we worked on developing a business plan and some financial models and so forth. And that was of great assistance. And eventually we started working with what's known today as Clean Cut Metals. They really had a can-do attitude about manufacturing the parts. And quite honestly, local manufacturers, it was difficult to set up the manufacturing because we were determined to do it in the United States. And so, you know, a lot of manufacturers said, well, you really have to take that to Asia or something to get a competitive price. I don't think we can do it. And I found someone that, you know, wanted to find a way that shared the enthusiasm. So that's why I say it was financed in part by enthusiasm, because it gets infectious and then people want to help and people want to put in the work to get something off the ground. It's really exciting.
That's great. We want to talk about how your clientele can find your products, and this is one of your new products. It's called the Cloud Lifter. And tell me about the story, about the name, and how your clientele can find your products and Cloud Lifter.
Cloud products and the Cloud Lifter especially are widely available. If you search online, the dozens of stores come up where it's for sale. It's also on Amazon and things. But we have a dealer network. It's available from everything from Guitar Center, Sweetwater, Musician's Friend, all the major music retailers in the United States and Canada carry the line. And it's quite easy to find, and there's a lot of videos that explain it and how to use it and why it's valuable and what it is.
That's great. You mentioned that it's very important to you that you manufacture your products here locally in the United States. Tell me how that gave you a great nomination, and how is that better for your business?
Well, it's better for our business because our supply chain is right here where we can reach them. Our metal is all fabricated right here in Tucson. All the coatings and finishes are either in Tucson or Phoenix. All of our circuit boards are manufactured and assembled on the Navajo Reservation in northern Arizona. And to me, it's a point of pride to be able to do that, because it's a community-based effort. And so our success is a success for the whole community, and we're able to support the community in that way, and then the community, you know, we support each other. And we were really fortunate and humbled by, in 2016, we were nominated for the Presidential Export Award, and we flew to Washington and received the award thanks to our local commercial service representative, Christina Parisi, with the U.S. Commercial Services here in Tucson. We were nominated and eventually received that award from the Obama administration, and we're very proud of that.
I am. I'm sure you are, and it's simply wonderful, so congratulations to you and everybody in your team. Let's talk about your clientele. Tell me who you typically market to.
Well, we have several different markets. With the microphones, they're more high-end, and they're more for professional recording. You see artists such as Elvis Costello and Leon Russell and Lucius, and recently Stevie Wonder and others start to use the cloud microphones and gravitate towards them. But with the Cloud Lifter line of products, which we have 5 now, we just introduced a new one. They're much more of a broad spectrum of customers. The Cloud Lifter, this is our most popular, the CL1. The CL1 came out in 2011, and now it's actually about 70% of our total revenue comes from this product, because it's really accessible at $149 and made in the USA. It's very accessible to people that want to get into audio. It's used. The quality is such. And just a little background on the Cloud Lifter before I go into that. The Cloud Lifter is actually the amplification stage that is inside of our high-end microphones. And it was quite by accident that we actually started to make the Cloud Lifter, because when the circuit was first prototyped and designed, we put it in a little box to test with the microphones that we had already made. And as soon as I started plugging microphones into that box, I realized, wait a minute, this is a really, really cool box. This is like the coolest box ever, because a lot of microphones, specifically the microphones that we manufacture, the technology, the ribbon microphone technology and the dynamic microphone technology, which is widely used today, but they inherently are very low in sensitivity and very weak. They need a lot of gain. And
they need this.
They need the Cloud Lifter, or you're going to have to go out and spend thousands of dollars on a really specialized preamp in order to get enough signal above the noise so that you can actually hear the beauty of the microphone. So what the Cloud Lifter does is it puts that in a format that you can use between the microphones you already own and your preamp, and it operates only on the power that's available along the microphone line from your preamp to enhance the output sensitivity and give it about 25 decibels of what we call Class A discrete gain. Class A discrete gain is very clean and it's very professional, yet it's in this easy to use format that can be plugged in between even an inexpensive preamp and an inexpensive microphone and totally enhance the level of quality that you're getting the end result. So with that, the Cloud Lifter is used widely in broadcasting. Our local station KXCI here uses the Cloud Lifter with their on-air broadcast microphones, as well as they actually have the ribbon microphones too they use for some of their in-studio performances. And podcasters use it, radio stations, television, field recording applications are popular with the Cloud Lifter, but it's also professional enough that people use it in high-end recording studios, and affordable enough that people use it in home recording studios. So it has a quite a broad spectrum of customers. So we market in different ways to different groups in the audio community. It's
great to know that a company like this is here in Tucson. It's really, really amazing. But a company needs great employees. Tell me about how many employees you have and how do you find them?
We currently have about 5 employees, and we're pretty small in terms of our assembly operation, but we use a lot of subcontractors and a lot of subcontract manufacturing. So we have about 7 other subcontract partners that we use for like sales and marketing and other areas of the business. And then additionally, we have subcontract manufacturing companies such as Tucson on the Navajo Reservation for the circuit board manufacturing, Clean Cut Metals here in Tucson for the metal fabrication, and STP up in Phoenix for some of the finishings and powder coats and things. So you can't really just say it's 5 employees, because there's employees in several different companies. Whenever a person purchases a cloud product, it literally benefits dozens of small businesses in the Southwest.
And I think that's amazing. I think that not just one business, but many businesses can benefit from that. And before we go, your best piece of advice for somebody who wants to start their own business?
It's all about enthusiasm. If you really believe in what you're doing, if you're starting a business because you want to make things better, then you're going to be successful.
That sounds great. Well, congratulations. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
It was great meeting you.
I enjoyed it, Carla. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Roger. Ivana, thanks for coming. And to find out more about Cloud Microphones, visit cloudmicrophones.com. This has been Business Spotlight with Carla Escamilla. See you next time.